Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. I'm so glad you joined us tonight. We're going to start out with the Black United Fund, and with me representing the Black United Fund is Adrienne Livingston, who's the Executive Director. Thanks for being here, Adrienne.
Thank you. And
Marshana Williams, the Education Program Coordinator. Sounds so important. and you actually have been in this organization on a couple different levels.
Yes.
So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the Black United Fund of Oregon, I met the development director from the Black United Fund of Oregon at the Oregon Public House, which is one of my favorite places because it's, you know, it's a pub where the money goes to benefit nonprofits, which is pretty darn cool. And I didn't know a whole lot about it, but you folks do a lot of good stuff in the community. You're providing scholarships, you're providing support and encouragement in all sorts of ways. So maybe you could start, Adrienne, and tell me just a little bit of the history and how the organization got started and why. Okay,
definitely. We actually were started in 1983 from a group of African-American leaders that wanted to participate in philanthropy. United Way, who started the Workplace Giving campaign, that whole model, they were the ones that were there and really just saying, what can we do to encourage individuals to give to our African-American community? We are one of 22 affiliates of the National Black United Fund, and being that we are in Oregon, our demographics look different than some of the other organizations that are Black United Fund, and therefore we focus on our African American community, but also our low income communities. And so our mission is to assist in the social and economic development of Oregon's low income communities and to contribute to a broader understanding of ethnic and culturally diverse groups. So everything we do.
That was very well said. She said that before.
Okay, I didn't say. I've been with the organization for 13 years.
Wow, that is a long time.
So,
she knows her mission.
Yes. And so everything we do is with the lens of equity and looking at our, where are our gaps. And unfortunately, when we look at our youth, gaps are with our African American and Latino youth, a lot of even Native American youth as well. So just with what we do, it's really to help. So
I know I've interviewed people from NAIA, the Native American Association, and from the Portland Urban League. And both of them talked about the fact that the job situations are really tough, especially for low income and for minority groups. And any support that can be given to kids that are any ethnicity, but really to be given to kids that have maybe a little extra going against them because it's that's a great thing. So how do you do that? What does the Black United Fund do to support the kids?
Our biggest impact we see is helping in our education. So we feel that we really want to make a change in our low-income communities and minority communities is starting with those youth. And so our main goal is to help them get to the workforce, get them into college, keep them in college, help them after college, and later find a great job. That's whether with the STEAM careers, which is like science, technology, engineering, arts and mathematics, or any kind of trade that they're interested in.
Right.
And then also All Hands Raised is doing the Cradle to Career, the collective impact work, and looking at how do you really create a pipeline. And so the Black United Fund is looking at where are we on that pipeline?
Where do you fit in?
Exactly.
What little gaps can you bridge?
And making sure that we're helping to develop a different culture and developing success. So we're a part of that whole network.
Well, in 1983, when you started, I mean, that was, especially, you're on Northeast Alberta. Were you always on that street?
No, we've been on Williams, we've been on Killingsworth, and in 1999.
That was a little shady area about then. I mean, that's about the time I moved into that area. And I remember it was not a street you wanted to walk down. And that's changed a lot, which is a great thing. But there's a lot of work still to be done in our community.
It is, and it was during that time in the 90s, definitely the gangs were on the rise, and that's part of what you saw.
That's what I'm referring to,
Right, and it's great, the development, but then it also speaks to kind of the gentrification.
And then people getting shoved out more out to East County here.
Exactly, we're trying to make sure we're reaching our kids out in East County, that they know that they have these services available to them.
So that's a good thing to know, because I've been talking, last show I did, we talked with Rockwood, and some different people that were kind of important players in the Rockwood area, because they have their share of gang problems there, and they do a lot of great stuff in Rockwood, but you have to focus on that.
Right.
But there are not all the agencies and organizations that are available in Portland are available in East County, but you do support the East County.
Yes.
So do you have a location here, or how do you do that? I mean, people can go to you for a resource or?
Yes, definitely. And I try to make my ways out to the high schools as much as possible. So we were just at Reynolds and we're at Gresham High School, really telling students about our services, and we try to keep our services out in the community so it's easier to get to, whether we have an SAT workshop at PCC in Northeast Portland or a scholarship writing workshop that's going to be at Warner Pacific this Saturday. So we really try to be out there where the students are because we know that transportation can be difficult.
Yeah, it sure can.
Yeah.
Well, that answers one of my questions is what are your resources? So you have workshops you offer for the kids. So tell me maybe a little bit about this scholarship writing workshop that's coming. This is for kids to apply for scholarships?
Yes, yes. And we're partnering with Portland Leadership Foundation, which actually has the Act 6 scholarship. It's a full ride leadership scholarship to either Warner Pacific or George Fox, and we partner with them. Yeah, it's a great package, and we partner with them to get our students to a 6-hour workshop that teaches them how to write an award-winning essay. And for some students, it's about telling a story. I mean, there's thousands of kids applying to school, so how do we get them to tell their story?
And what's going to make theirs special
right,
about somebody
exactly,
else's?
Exactly. And so it's only $5. They can come the day of at Warner Pacific. It's on 60th and Division. So
and they get a notebook. They really learn how to create a package because it's just not one component. And I think sometimes they think, oh, if I get a 4-point, you know, I don't have work experience, I don't have volunteerism, etc.
Right.
You know, I'm good. But it's, you know, I think more and more universities are looking at the whole of, not that they weren't in the past, but really trying to encourage our students to look at what are you doing even outside of school, your extracurricular activities, etc.
Your volunteer work.
Exactly. So, and all this can be used whether it's for an essay for scholarship and or for admissions just to universities. So,
or just in your life in general. I mean, any job you have, if you've developed some really good writing skills and your ability to communicate and tell a story,
exactly.
that's a big deal. That's a huge asset.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, Marshana, you were involved as a student being helped by the Black United Fund. So tell me how that all came about.
Yeah, I was a recipient of our Access Scholarship, which we have partnership with 6 private universities, and we have scholarships that range $10,000 per year to full and met need. And I won the $12,000 per year to University of Portland.
Wonderful.
And so I stayed connected and went from there.
Where did you go to school here in
I went to Cleveland High School.
You went to Cleveland, okay.
2008, I graduated.
Right. That actually was also the very first year we did our scholarship writing workshop. She actually attended our very first scholarship writing workshop.
Right.
And obviously it
Now
paid
that
off,
she's
didn't
leading.
it?
It did. It paid off. It did.
Was it difficult? Was it?
The
Were
workshop?
you intimidated by it?
No, not at all, because it's very hands-on, and there's people there to guide you through it and really kind of pull that imagination out and how you can create an image and like a story and make it into an essay. So.
Wow. See, you send the kids over here to MetroEast and you can make it into a movie.
We can't wait to do that. Really.
That's great. So the scholarship writing workshop is September 28th from 9 a.m. to 4, according to my notes here. And the Access Scholarship is being, I have here that it's due February 1st. So the application for that scholarship is due February 1st.
Yes, the application will be live on the 28th. So students can go on there and start creating an account. It is for African and African-American students to go on. And so it's going to be a program where we introduce them to the schools early. They get tours, they go to workshops to really get them ready for this scholarship application. Because it's quite a bit of money. I mean, that's a good deal. And some of them even get more than $10,000 or $12,000 per year.
It's so expensive.
Right.
And you know, kids coming out with these incredible student loans is really, it's really tough.
Yeah.
So if they go to this scholarship writing workshop, they're obviously going to have the skills to apply for other scholarships as well. Because you can get more than one scholarship.
Right,
so,
exactly. And that's the goal. And part of following up to the scholarship writing workshop, we're going to have scholarship application days where we have volunteers to work with those students to make a final personal statement from that essay that they had started. So we're hoping to introduce them to other scholarships like the Gates Millennium. So if you're first in your family, go to school to your doctorate for free. I mean, there's all kind of resources. So.
Good deal. So are you still in school?
No, I graduated last May.
Congratulations.
Yes.
But now you're working at the Black United Fund.
What
a deal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
She's
right.
who we saw full circle, you know, someone having
wonderful.
a scholarship, the scholarship writing workshop,
Yeah.
to now actually working with us, so and passing
So
on what
how
she
do
was
most
given.
people find out about you? Through things like Marshana going out and talking to schools and
going to the high schools and partnering with other youth foundation programs, whether it's like YEI or REAP, SCI, any kind of program we can think of that's already in the schools or already working with the youth in those communities.
Great.
And then we are in different workplace giving campaigns. So Northwest Natural, Kaiser, Legacy, OHSU. We have several. We have about 30. Multnomah County, City of Portland, et cetera. So
Okay, like the United Way started.
exactly. You're still a part of that. So yes, they created a great model. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes, that's good. Yeah, we just had Hands on Greater Portland in here.
Ah, nice. That's an awesome
and
organization
they were
too.
talking about partnering with the nonprofits. It's a great way to get things done.
It's all about collaboration.
It is. It is. So what else can you tell me about Black United Fund? What other resources do you have? I know you work with the kids, but do you have resources for adults as well, or is it all the focus on kids?
Our direct service program is more focused on kids, but it's through our grant making program that we can focus on others. And so with the funds that we raise through Workplace Giving, we're able to give out grants to other nonprofits that directly serve low-income communities.
Okay.
And we are focusing on areas of education. We know that, for example, we haven't, with this new cycle, we haven't given the grants yet, but some of the organizations that have applied, for example, are Better People, and they work with ex-convicts, et cetera. We have a Salem Multicultural Institute, because the one thing we do is actually fund statewide. So we're not just Portland-based.
Okay.
We do fund throughout the state. So all of the different programs that we're even looking at funding have to have that education component, and how are they helping to feed into the pipeline of education.
And it's a focus mostly on African Americans and other minorities.
I would say we look with the lens of equity. So always looking at our communities of color, at African American community, but depending on where the entity is, we're going to say, how are you reaching out to your communities of color there, and are you being equitable? Because again, we might have grants coming in from Corvallis, Salem, Eugene, et cetera.
Right.
But definitely, when it comes to our education program, we take all students. So, anyone who needs help, everyone needs help getting to school. It's expensive, so we want to help as much as we can.
It is expensive, and speaking of, different ethnic groups, come out here to East County, there is a huge immigrant population, and there's so many people from other countries that, nobody speaks the same language, and the difficulties must be, very, it's tough. It's tough to overcome some of those things.
You have culture shock, you have culture stress, there are so many
Yeah.
different things, and how to navigate, they don't understand that. Same with the kids, if they're the first generation. We have a lot of first generation students coming through our sessions. They don't know how to navigate the system, and that's why we're there. We're helping them navigate.
Wow.
And do it successfully.
Yay.
Yes.
It's been there 13 years. Are you, are you a lifer, or are you?
Right. Okay. Well, no.
She's laughing. She's heard this, huh?
Yes.
So this was the second job after that I got after college. The first job was working at a hotel, and then this came along, and I can't believe, when you're younger, you think, I can never work at a place for so long, and now I'm like, gosh, it's been 13 years. Oh my goodness, but it's been a great career. Love the Black United Fund, how we're changing, transitioning. We're on Alberta Street, as you know, and we do have about 9,000 square feet of space that we are looking to renovate.
Space. So what kinds of things are you going to do there?
Oh, well, nice. Portland Development Commission, they have a technical assistance program, so we're going through that. And the architects, it's Carlton Hart Architects, they just gave us a rendering of what it would look like to have 5 retail spaces. The majority of them would be 1,000 square feet or more.
So you'd just be renting out that space.
Exactly.
And then so that money would go back into the...
It would come back into the program, but even in what we're looking at and who we're looking at renting it out, like we would want to tie it to, we would want to tie it to our mission. For example, making sure that they have an internship space for even one of our youth. So how do we tie it back into, even though they're there, they're paying for obviously the space, we're going to tie it back into our program.
That makes perfect sense. Or find somebody who has actually come through the program and wants to start their own business.
There you go. Why not?
There you go.
Support them. That's good.
So,
okay. Any last words before we let you go about Black United Fund? What it's meant to you and in your life?
Oh, it's been an amazing experience. I mean, me coming fresh out of college and having someone like Adrian as my mentor and teaching me professional development, and I'm able to give back to my students. So I've learned a lot. So from that scholarship writing workshop until now, I think I'm pretty good at writing.
Good job.
Yes.
Thank you, both of you. Both of you. This has been great. And I love your color coordination tonight.
Yeah,
didn't even plan it.
That was an accident.
If you had given me the memo, I would have been right with you.
I know. Well, the black. We're right there with you.
Okay. There you go. Next.
Well, you're wearing green, our other color,
Oh,
so
that's your other color.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I'll, look forward to seeing you out here more in East County. And
Definitely.
when I'm at home, I'll just swing by and say hi.
Yeah, we would like that.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching this first segment of Community Hotline. Don't go away. We're going to be right back with more good nonprofits to talk to.
My favorite thing about community media is how people find their voice and tell their story.
It's the message of, by, and for a community.
We're a gathering place because it gets people of all sorts of different backgrounds underneath one roof.
It's art, it's technology.
A snapshot of our community.
Going live.
In 3, 2, 1.
This song was created with heartbeats of children in need. Find out how it can help frontline health workers bring hope to millions of children at everybeatmatters.org.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. Let's catch them before it's too late. To start helping students in your community, visit boostup.org.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If you're pregnant or have young children and your home was built before 1978, you could be at risk. Learn how to protect your family. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, or just to find help, log on to leadfreekids.org.
Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite. Unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book could be the first little thing that helps to change a life. Book people unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.
Hi, welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we are still here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham. And with me tonight, I have an organization that has several different titles here, so it might be a little confusing, but we're gonna plow through it and get it figured out here. We have Liz Long representing the Oregon Food Bank. Thanks for being here. And you're the Nutrition Education Program Coordinator.
That is correct.
That's a mouthful. And Ellen Damasceno, the National Field Manager for Share Our Strengths Cooking Matters.
Correct.
Which is all part of the No Kid Hungry
campaign.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. So maybe, Ellen, maybe you could start and just sort of dissect that for me, how that all works. Like, what's the umbrella and where does it go from there?
I will start with the big picture.
Good.
So the big picture is Share Our Strength is a national nonprofit organization. We're based in DC, and we are working to end childhood hunger through the No Kid Hungry campaign. The campaign is very, very simple because we believe that hunger is a solvable problem in the United States, and it is. So the campaign is really simple. We want healthy food where kids live, learn, and play. And so, very simple. So where they live, we have Cooking Matters programs, which Liz will talk a little bit more. So we're empowering families to cook healthy meals. Where they learn, we want to make sure that kids are having school breakfast, school lunch, healthy school breakfast and healthy school lunch, and where they play, so that they're getting summer meals, healthy summer meals, parks, community sites, etc. So by making sure that kids have access year-round to healthy food, we can end this problem. And
that's a huge issue. If kids don't get enough to eat, I mean, how can they concentrate on their schoolwork? How can they participate in sports programs or after-school programs? It's
yeah,
how
absolutely.
can we do anything really?
Far-reaching effects. Kids who don't eat on a regular basis, who we say are food insecure. I like the word hungry because hungry is something we all know. We've all been hungry before. Yeah. And so when we say we're hungry, people really understand what that means.
Yes. But and it's not only not having the food to eat, it's also not having good, nutritious food to eat, like you were saying, because obviously there's so much talk about childhood obesity and all that from kids eating junk, the convenient stuff that's out there that's a lot easier sometimes for parents, but or they think it's easier.
Or they don't have the knowledge. I think even Liz can talk about this a little bit more. I think that there are parents want their children to eat healthy. I think that universally, I travel all over the country. I talk to parents. I take part in Cooking Matters classes. Parents want it. They just don't know. It hasn't been passed on to them. Right. So I think this is something that Cooking Matters does really well in our community.
Good. Yeah, I want to hear more about that. So, but first, okay, we have the Share Our Strength, the No Kid Hungry campaign. How does the Oregon Food Bank play into this? And I mean, I know that you're part of the Cooking Matters campaign or whatever you call a program, but how does Oregon Food Bank play into this?
So Cooking Matters is a national program, and it's a program of Share Our Strength, which is who Ellen works for.
It's our education part.
Okay.
Right. The education part
of
of the program.
The arm of the education.
Right.
So
it's like the live part of what Ellen.
It's the live and the learn and the play is the access to food. The live part is the education part. So it's access and education.
Well said.
And so Cooking Matters is a national program, and there are 34 lead partners who are running Cooking Matters programming across the United States, and Oregon Food Bank is the partner in Oregon.
Okay.
So we partner with Share Our Strength to offer the Cooking Matters program to our community, and we actually offer it statewide also through satellite programming. So we, Oregon Food Bank believes that no one should be hungry, and we believe that Cooking Matters, which can empower families to prepare healthy and affordable meals, is a really key part in ending hunger. So it's really important to us. Our goal is to end hunger and the root causes of hunger, and so we see the Cooking Matters programming as part of that root cause work.
So how does that work? Are they cooking classes? Do you talk to them about shopping and meal planning and all that kind of stuff?
Yes, and yes. Yeah.
Okay.
all of those things.
And tell me how people find out about it, who qualifies to go to these classes.
Great, that's great. So I'll tell you a little about what the classes look like first. So when I am describing the classes to people, I always say there are three sort of main components. There's a nutrition/food budgeting lesson, there's an interactive hands-on cooking lesson, and then there's sitting down and eating together. So it's awesome. So each class will have those three ingredients in some order, although the eating obviously comes at the end. But
that's a success at the end,
the best for last.
Yeah, exactly. And so the nutrition lessons, we use the USDA's My Plate, so really focusing on eating a variety of foods, making half your plate fruits and vegetables, choosing whole grains.
A small part, if you have it at all, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so each week is kind of centered around a different facet from My Plate or from USDA nutrition. And then we also talk a lot about food budgeting and what to do when you go to the grocery store. I think for me, it's really great to go to the grocery store tour with the classes, which is something we do in week 5. It's a 6-week-long course, and I feel like it's really where the rubber meets the road because you can learn so much. You can learn it in a class and read it in a book, but then when you're actually in the store and it's time to make a different choice or read that label and see, whoa, that product has so much sodium in it, or that has a lot of fat. I didn't know that.
Or I don't know what 2/3 of those ingredients are, so why am I buying it?
Right, that ingredient list is really long.
I can't pronounce this.
Yeah, exactly. And so the way we offer the classes is through partnerships with different agencies in the community. So we'll work with basically any agency that already works with clients that might be struggling with their food budget. So we work with an organization in in downtown Portland called Central City Concern, which is a group that for folks who are transitioning out of homelessness. We work with the Salvation Army. We work with a lot of Sun schools, so after school programs.
Uniting neighbor.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And it really ties in with the Share Our Strength because we're working with a lot of those schools that have a high participation in free or reduced lunch. And so we seek out these partnerships with agencies that are already serving the people who we want to serve. And then we'll partner with them to offer the classes to their clients. And we also have a few classes that we offer at Oregon Food Bank at our Northeast Portland location and also at our Beaverton location that are open to the public. Because sometimes, you know, people really want to take the class, they'll hear about it, but then they're not affiliated with any of our partner agencies, and so they'll come directly to us.
Oh, great. So I imagine you could find that information on the Oregon Food Bank website.
Yes, absolutely. So OregonFoodBank.org.
We brought some pictures, I think.
Great.
So maybe we can take a look at those and you can tell me what we're looking at.
Okay, so that is in the Oregon Food Bank West Kitchen in Beaverton. That's Chef Vaughn. So all of our instructors for the classes are volunteers, which is really amazing, a really wonderful part of our program. Actually, Ellen used to be a volunteer.
Oh, so I still am, actually.
She still is.
I've been a 10-year chef instructor with Cooking Matters. Yes, on my own time.
Good for you.
And this is a kids class on the left and another class at the Food Bank West on the right. We have curricula for kids and they learn, you know, how to make their own snacks. And
I think they're doing lettuce roll-ups in that picture.
Yeah, I think so. This is a graduation, so the 6th week of every class is a graduation class, and so we have a celebration. We make some celebration foods, and so the chef instructor, Carol, is down there on the right, and then this is the graduating class.
Fun.
They get a graduation certificate. A lot of times it's the only certificate some of these people have ever gotten.
Really?
Yeah, it means a lot to them to go through a 6-week class and get
and they graduated, and they
exactly.
That's very cool.
I love this picture on the left. It's 2 participants making pasta sauce. They look super sweet.
On their faces, isn't that great?
And then on the right, that's Helen, one of our chef instructor volunteers, and a man from one of our agencies we work with, and they're making the roasted chicken.
Yeah, I was going to say,
you recognize
the
that?
roasted chicken and vegetables.
Roasted chicken with vegetables. The Cooking Matters curriculum has several recipes in it, and so in a class, the volunteers will choose a couple of the recipes to make to sort of highlight the nutrition messages that are being taught that week, and they all cook them together. So, yeah, more wonderful pictures of participants cooking.
Actually, we have some of those recipes on an app. If you go to our website, cookingmatters.org/app.
Oh, really?
And you can download, and we have all the recipes. They're geared to be $2 or less, usually under 30 minutes to cook, and really highly healthy. So
ding, ding.
Yeah,
right. You're going to go get it, right?
I just thought about that as we were talking about it. So I think it's a really good way to, even you could go on and check out that good chicken and vegetable recipe. I love that recipe.
It's actually really good.
I make it at home.
I do too.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons that this program is so successful is that you are not just watching a cooking show about how to make a recipe. You are doing it. Like if someone takes a class, they are cutting that chicken and they are putting it in the oven. They're like dealing with how long it takes to cook and how the recipe said that it was, something different, and all the challenges that come with that. And then, I think one of the reasons that Ellen and I make those recipes at home is because we know how to do them and we're comfortable making them. And it's really that practice that I think makes this program so successful.
If you aren't somebody who's regularly cooked, it can be very intimidating to
Absolutely.
cook, and to learn to cook inexpensively. For example, buy dried beans and soak them, instead of buying canned beans. Those little things like that. I'm assuming those are the kinds of things that maybe you would talk about that are,
We talk about a lot of that because I think, and we talk about things that take time. What's worth it or not worth it to take the time. So we try to get most meals under 30 minutes. The chicken one's kind of, we got to be careful. You can make sure you cook your chicken. So we have food safety in there as well. But I think we want to be really, and we build on the skills week by week. So we're teaching different things. We're teaching baking and sauteing and boiling. So they have a lot of things in their back pocket. So when they come across food that they're going to be buying, they know how to prepare it.
Even if they know what it means to saute.
Exactly.
What does it mean to,
exactly.
Poach something or I
think that's important as well.
real. I mean, sometimes you read a cookbook. I remember when I was first started cooking, it was sort of it was intimidating. It's like I don't know what that means,
right?
Especially because I had really old cookbooks of my mother's.
Like the joy of cooking.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's great. You use it all the time.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
There's some, there's some older stuff in there. So, we don't all make Jell-O salads anymore.
No, I think that's fallen out of favor.
Yeah.
But I do think it's interesting that the participants, there's been a big, I've seen at least, I don't know, maybe Liz can speak to this more, but I've definitely seen a shift in wanting to know more about saving money. There's been a big shift with our economy, with our recession, and as you know, there's this $40 billion proposal in the House to cut SNAP, which is going to affect most people. SNAP is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, otherwise known as food stamps. It's like, I know it's a mouthful like our titles, but but there's this $40 billion out there, and what that does is it equals about 20 meals a month for the average family that's on food stamps, and that's a lot. So we've really been pushing this grocery store tour. We have a standalone tour called Cooking Matters at the Store. It's a 2-hour tour that people can do. We're really trying to teach people how to use their limited resources
in the wisest
in
way.
the best way possible. So when you talk about bags of beans or bags of rice or a whole chicken or what produce is in season, is it better to buy fresh, frozen, or canned?
Right. And those are great questions. Those are great questions for a lot of people.
Right.
I mean, really, whether you're low income or not. Do you? Has there been any studies done following up on people that have gone through this program to see if they continue to use those skills they learned?
Do you want to speak to the Colorado study?
Yeah, actually, we have found that most of the adults that have gone through our study, first of all, 99% of people who go through these classes would recommend them to a friend or take them again.
Wow.
So that's huge.
That's
85% of our participants, after they've gone through Cooking Matters, eat more fruits and vegetables than they did before.
Yeah.
It's really huge. And then there's other statistics like 72% are buying leaner meats or lower fats. But I think the big ones are geared more towards this was a valuable class to them. They're paying more attention. I would say unit pricing with that little tag that we teach on how.
I remember teaching my daughter that when she was 12.
It's an aha moment for a lot of our participants. So they're saving money, they're eating more vegetables, and they find the class valuable. And I think that says a lot. It's 20 years. Cooking Matters, this is its 20th year.
Wow. Well, we're just about out of time. So what last minute things do you want to share with us?
Well, I wanted to share with you that we are really working to expand our programming into Gresham. And so I'm really looking for those movers and shakers, those people who live in Gresham who really want to share their love of cooking and nutrition with folks who could really benefit from taking a Cooking Matters class. And so I want to encourage those people to go to our website. It's OregonFoodBank.org.
I can direct some people your way. I will do that.
And then if they click on the link that says volunteer, and they'll be able to navigate to nutrition education, and we would really love to have them.
Good. Okay. So people in the Gresham area, East County area, Cooking Matters.
Come to me.
Come
to Cooking Matters.
Yes, come to us.
Thank you.
Yes, you bet. Thanks so much to the Oregon Food Bank, Cooking Matters, Share Our Strength, No Kid Hungry, and everybody else.
You got it all.
Well, good luck in this next season. I hope that you get a lot of people coming to the classes. It sounds like you're doing a great job.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so
Please don't
much.
go away. Yes, you're welcome. Please don't go away. We have one more session. We're going to be talking with the Sandy Lions Club. So we'll be right back. It went really fast.
It did go away.
Community television is what participatory democracy is about.
Like my friend Laird Ross says, it's the last great American soapbox.
It gives me a voice.
I'm glad it's available.
It's incredibly important to protect a place where all users of locally based nonprofit media have a place to speak and share their stories.
KZME Radio is a new station that is committed to entertain, inspire, and connect our community through programming that celebrates local music, arts, and culture. It was created to put local music and local arts on local radio, and it is a vehicle for our creative community to gain exposure while also celebrating what the Portland metro area has to offer.
Hey folks, I'm Mike Midlow from the band Pancake Breakfast. What's so cool about KZME? Well, it's local music. You know, you can't go to every live show. Believe me, I've tried. So you could tune into KZME and hear a bunch of music that you might not get to see otherwise. Why should you support KZME? Well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, if you like Portland Town, USA, homegrown music, independent radio, and if you believe in the powers of rock and roll, then contribute to KZME. It's music where you live.
For more information on how to support and get involved with 1071 FM KZME Radio, see our website, www.1071fm.org. KZME Radio, music where you live.
Get caught buzzed driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hi, welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. My final guest for tonight, I'm very happy to introduce you to members of the Sandy Lions Club. We have with us Charles A., who is the Vice President, and Sharon McCall, who's the Membership Director.
Yeah,
thanks for being here. And your cute vest.
That's right, made for TV.
That's perfect. You have your name on yours, though, but Charles hasn't quite gotten up to that level.
I've been lax. I should have had it done already.
Is it like, you know, like the Scouts where you get little badges for
it can be, yeah.
Fun. So tell me, one of you tell me, if you would, a little bit about the Sandy Lions Club. I know I've had the Oregon Lions Sight and Hearing Foundation on before. I loved what they do. You're associated with that.
Absolutely.
But how is this different, and what is your main focus? What's your mission?
Mission?
I know you have one, Charles.
We basically, our mission is to assist people who have sight problems, hearing problems. Last year, or this year actually, we had, for the Oregon Trail School District, we had a thing where we had 800 students that we tested for sight and hearing.
Wow.
That's quite a deal.
Wow. So did it used to be that the schools did it themselves and now the Lions do it, or have the
Well, the
Lions always
schools
done
have
that?
to do it, it's required, but as part of our community service, we step in and do that with the schools. And
so they don't have to find all the volunteers to do that?
Exactly.
I remember helping do that with, when my kids were little, and it took a lot of volunteers to go through.
Well, with the Lions involved in it too, we actually saved them 50% on the cost of doing all the testing and everything. It saved them in the neighborhood around $900 or so.
Wow, well that's real helpful. So you assist in that. What other kinds of things do you do? Are there other areas besides sight and hearing, or that's your main focus?
That's
correct?
the main focus, yeah. We also, during Flag Day this year, we went to Nass Elementary, and for the 1st through 3rd grade, we presented them with their first American flag.
Yeah.
Gave them some a brief history of the American flag. Most kids had never even heard anything about what the flag represents or anything along those lines.
Don't you find that rather odd? I mean,
I know, but it's, you know, it's just not the same as it was turning 30 years ago. And I know that a lot of kids who get their first flag, that's their flag they have, like, they take it through high school with them. It's a real memorable thing for them.
Right.
So.
How about how to treat the flag? Do you talk about that? Is that
yeah?
That's part of the deal.
Yeah, that's part of the history and part of the you know, just discussing it with them. And you know, the kids were actually very excited, you know, to get it. They had lots of questions and things like that, and just to see their smiles and things, you know, and talk to them, it was a great thing.
I think that's probably their first exposure for a lot of those kids to what patriotism is all about.
It is. That's very true.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So, are you guys the ones that do those breakfasts?
There are Lions that do breakfast.
I always remember the Lions breakfast or pancake breakfast, or maybe they're just breakfast meetings. I don't know, but
there's a lot of Lions clubs. Like there's the Gresham Lions Club. There's a Lions Club with Mount Hood. So there's Lions Estacada Lions. So we all do our different types of fundraisers. For us, we've had our first annual ever golf tournament. Had that out at Eagle Creek Golf Course. Fantastic. It's just a beautiful course.
Really good. We actually, along with the golf tournament, once everything was completed, we had a barbecue, presented prizes to the people who participated, and then afterwards had an auction to raise money, which was the whole purpose of the golf tournament.
Right.
So was this a fundraiser for the Sandy Lions Club so that you could have money to present to, or to pay for like some of the
glasses
sight and hearing
and exams,
and,
exactly.
Sight and hearing. And we also have, in conjunction with the sight and hearing, we have a program that people can contact us, and if they meet the requirements, we will assist them in getting a pair of glasses or hearing aids or that kind of thing. So.
One of the things I was impressed with was those mobile vans that you have, or mobile buses that you have.
There's a mobile screening unit, right?
Yeah.
They can get to. They usually use those for places that are more out of the way.
Right. But that's a great thing for
you
know, people that have a hard time getting, or maybe can't afford to go to the doctor, because there isn't a charge, is there? Is a donation? Or
it's completely a need-based.
Well, the kind of thing that you're speaking of is like Compassion Sandy that was recently held, that they do a lot of free exams, medical exams and things like this. This year, the Sandy Lions were involved, and we helped provide sight, you know, or eye exams and such in that situation.
We did. We have 28 people that we screened there that we have that were in line now to get glasses, you know, eye exams and glasses, and then 2 hearing aids, 2 folks with trains. So that was in conjunction with Compassion Sandy, which is another big community health day in Sandy.
Think about all those people that are now going to have glasses when they're driving.
Exactly. It's really important, exactly.
I mean, you know, I mean, that's what I think about. That's, you know, that benefits me.
Well, it's better for them to have the glasses and drive than not to have the
glasses. Exactly. So by you helping them, you're helping the rest of the community, because keep it safe for us.
And then we do quite a few other fundraising things. Our participation with the community, every year or in the last couple of years, we've hosted 5th and 6th grade classes with the International Peace Poster Contest, which is where it's for all the Lions clubs, and it's for children of that certain age, and they get just a poster board piece of paper, and they use whatever media, ink, paint, Crayola, whatever, and it's judged internationally from all the clubs throughout the world, which we have. Well, we haven't mentioned it, but there's 1.35 million Lions. It's the largest community service organization in the world.
I didn't realize that was the largest one.
We're huge. I think a lot of people don't understand that. How many clubs do we have? I can't remember.
There's
40.
We're in 207 countries, and we've got.
Yeah, it's huge.
Let's see, what is it? 46,000 clubs worldwide.
I think you must be a very humble organization, because you don't toot your own horn as often as you
That's
could.
why we're here.
Yay,
but a lot of it's true. But a lot of it's all community service. Like anything that we fundraise, it's 100%. There isn't anything that goes to run the clubs.
Overhead.
The overhead is all covered by our Lions dues. So anything that we fundraise, it's all completely goes back to the community.
So if people have a little extra cash in their back pocket, they don't know what to do with it.
We're always available to help them with that.
Definitely make use of it.
And they would know that it was going to be used for the intention that, you know, it was meant for.
It's all community service and helping those folks who are in need, but it's What do we?
Well, part of our mandate is that we are mandated to use any donations for our community. We can't use those donations.
Can't use them
do-
to spruce up to get the really good coffee instead of the cheap coffee for the meetings.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey.
So, but use a variety of ways to do that. We've done fundraising through the Oktoberfest in Sandy. We are associated with Oral Hull, which is the school for the blind in Sandy.
Oh, okay. I knew that name. I was trying to think of that.
Right.
So, the Oktoberfest in Sandy, what did you do there? Did you?
Well, actually, there
Because we were up there too. I think we were tabling up there.
As a matter of fact, I think it's where we.
I mean, besides drinking the beer. And,
exactly, and having the
brats.
brats, right.
This is our second year at Oktoberfest, and we done caramel apples, and actually people love them, but also water coffee. And the best part about it is it gave us a great opportunity to speak to other people about the Lions and let them know
and that's
that we're
how I
here.
found out about you, because one of our volunteers spoke with you.
Wandered by.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
great.
yes.
Yeah, and that's great. I like those connections. That's fun. So you did the Oktoberfest. What do you have coming up next? Do you have anything coming up before the end of the year?
Other than this event?
Well, tell me about this event. Would you share
Well,
it?
let's talk about that.
That was a good segue, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. But have you done this before?
No,
not
never.
at all. We have coming up, it's an event, we're calling it an evening with Mother Teresa and Mary. And Mary Soderberg-Merkley had spent some time with Mother Teresa in India, in Calcutta, working at the Kalighat house, which was Mother Teresa's first house that she opened. It's like a hospice, and it was originally the house of the dying. Because in Calcutta, if you were poor, you simply went on the street and died.
Right.
So her mission to begin with that particular house was to have a place for those folks to go. And sometimes they would get better, or if they needed just a place to pass away.
A place to die in dignity and
exactly.
surrounded by some love.
Exactly. So Mary was a young woman who went over there, and it's sort of told through her eyes how she got on the plane, made it over to Calcutta, made it to the house, and her times that she had with Mother Teresa. And she spoke at another organization I had, and she was just so emotive and just so emotional. I thought, everyone has to hear about this. Wow. Because I know most people know who Mother Teresa is. She's, I think almost everyone's heard of her.
Right.
And there couldn't be a bigger emblem or symbol for volunteerism. I mean, there's just nothing. She gave her whole life to it. So that's coming up on, do we have something that says that? Oh, wait, here it is. It's Wednesday, October 16th at the Sandy Community Center, and it starts at 7, and the program starts at 7:30.
Well, tell us a little bit more about Mary.
We changed that time. It's 7:30.
Right. I know that. That's when the program starts, is at 7:30. Or I might have said that wrong. So about Mary?
Yeah.
I'd be happy to. Let me just give you like a little story.
Okay.
Mary has, Mother Teresa was always someone she really wanted to meet or aspired to be like, and she was just finishing college, and at the time they weren't married yet, but they were committed to each other. Her husband said, Mary, when are you going to have a better opportunity? Just go. So she took off on her own to fly to India. And
that's a gutsy thing to do, actually.
But pretty terrifying for her. And I'll just tell a little bit of the story, which part of how she got there. She got on a plane out of the States and made some transfers and got into India. Not where she had to go, but she had to take another plane to get further in. And she's young. She just doesn't know anything. She's terrified. It's really scary. She's lost. She doesn't know. She says at that point she was ready to just find the first thing that said, U.S. and go back home. I mean, she just was not.
Yeah. It wasn't working out the way she
planned.
No.
So she got on the shuttle bus, and Mother Teresa was on the shuttle bus.
Oh my goodness.
Going to another place, and so.
No coincidence.
It was
Sounds
just.
like it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. So she, saw her and and Mother Teresa sat her down. She laid her head in her lap and just told her it would be all okay.
Oh.
So I mean. Her reason to go, she met her, and she was just like, I knew I had to, obviously continue, and she did. So
that's
it was pretty dramatic. It's like, well, it's almost miraculous in itself that she would meet that, because Mother Teresa goes to many places other than just she's going many different places. Just happened to be going in a different direction, but they meet on the same little bus. So she did end up going, and then she spent, what she's going to really talk about is that journey, but the time that she spent there. She worked in the House of the Dying. That's where she worked.
Wow.
And spent, her months that she spent there. She'll talk about the times because there's a lot of special time with Mother Teresa where she has her nurses and students around her, where she has chats with them in the evening. I mean, very, very emotional stuff. So if you want to have like a little bit of a cry, be prepared because it's very, very emotional. Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
And Mary is married to Jeff Merkley, is that
correct?
Yes.
She sure is.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. That sounds like a great evening.
Yeah, I can't, it's just a really good story, and of course it's in support of the Lions too. But it's
a fundraiser for.
It's a fundraiser for the Lions too. I mean, that's not really specifically what it was for, but we will have several donation jars out, so you could definitely.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
you
know, if you feel the need, please
yes.
do drop in some money. But yeah, so we're going to have that. It'll just be, I think, just a real spiritual and just kind of a magical evening. I think.
It sounds like it. It sounds great.
It is really just something special to hear.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, for the end of the year, anything else? I mean, that sounds like a terrific event, but.
Well, that's kind of our biggie.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
We might do something probably at Christmas time, but it's nothing that special or anything like that.
We
this
do
is kind of a
put
big
out
deal.
Food barrels and stuff like that, and
okay.
donate it to the Sandy Action Center. You know, and they distribute it. And, you know, merchants in the area help us quite a lot with that. So.
Before we run out of time, if somebody were interested in becoming a Lion, what qualities would make somebody fit in well to this club?
Well, you want to be someone who wants to give to your community. If you feel that you have a need to serve, I mean, this is the place to do it. As you said, Lions don't really we're not big shouting, we're Lions, yes, yes. Yeah. It's something to do more of really wanting to serve your community.
Although you do have cute vests. So
and well, yeah, you've got the stylish gold vest, yeah, that too. But and we get to have a fuzzy little lion. Oh, and there's one of our lions there. Oh, that's in the we have a pickup truck that we decorate for the Sandy Mountain Festival Parade.
Oh, fun. Okay.
And he didn't have his yellow vest on. Oh, but there's one of our lions. There's someone getting pinned.
Yeah, that happens to be our secretary, the gentleman with having the pin.
You become when you're inducted.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay.
That might have been a service pin. Oh, look there.
Guess who that is there?
Oh, my attractive yellow, pretty golden vest. That's at Saturday Market where we have like a little booth where we mainly have information about the Lions. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of fun.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, I'm delighted to find out more about it. So if people do want to become involved, can they go to maybe a meeting and just check it out one time?
They can come to the meeting. In Sandy, we have our meetings on the first and third Tuesday, 7 p.m. and it's at the Sandy Family Restaurant. So, first and third Tuesday, 7 p.m. So come on in anytime. You can go to our website, which is,
what I was just
go ahead and say it.
No, that's fine.
No, go ahead.
SandyLionsClub.org.
Yes, that would be correct. If
you Google it, it will bring up a lot of different or a lot of different Lion groups, not only just in the city of Sandy, but Gresham and Estacada.
So whichever one's closest, most convenient for you to check it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are out of time. Thank you so much, both of you, Sharon and Charles. So you take your sense of humor now and go home.
And profit. All right. Thanks so much. It was great fun.
Thank you very much. Thanks for watching Community Hotline tonight. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'll be here next week. I hope I see you then. Good night.
My favorite thing about community media is how people find their voice and tell their story.
It's the message of, by, and for a community.
We're a gathering place because it gets people of all sorts of different backgrounds underneath one roof.
It's art, it's technology.
A snapshot of our community.
Going live.
In 3, 2, 1.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European pro golf tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 88. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs of autism.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids how to be more than a bystander.
Get caught buzzed driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is